Mamdani legalizes shoplifting, wiping 8,400 businesses off the map.
8,400 businesses closed in New York City in a single quarter last year. 1 in 5.
Okay, guys, I might actually have to do the communism song. This is actually retarded.
Manhattan storefronts are sitting empty right now. Your favorite shop, barber, your corner deli, they're all getting priced out.
But it's not just the rent that's too high for these stores. New York is the largest city in America. It's full of people, and that's part of the problem, because the store has no ability to stay open if massive numbers of folks are stealing from it each and every day.
This is what San Francisco kind of did. So they didn't make it, well, no, I mean, it's legal. In California, they made it so you don't get in trouble. It's decriminalized to steal under $1,000. So you had a bunch of people go into stores and just steal under $1,000. And then if they get caught, they just get a little slap on the wrist. So it's like totally worth it. There's like no risk.
And when you add to that our communist mayor who says he wants to raise taxes on pretty much everyone, the 8,400 stores that just left is nothing compared to what's coming.
The summon from my signs, guys. My mini hero signs, I'm out here trying to make $1. They're not allowed to be on the side.
The thing about this, though, I'm just being real. The people voted for it. Like, the people in these areas, unless we can prove voter fraud, the people in these areas voted to fuck their own stuff up. Just being real. Like, they decided that this was a good idea. That voting for this guy was a good idea. And all of these policies are a good idea. They're the ones who did it. Big Noise Smoker, thank you for that 145. I mean, it's really obvious what he was going to do, right? It's not like he was hiding it. It's for Food Leaf, nothing bad behind it. Yeah, of course. I don't know why you would vote for your own destruction. This just doesn't make any sense. It's just so stupid. What like just protecting criminals all the time. It's really annoying.
There's sidewalk signs. Where am I supposed to put them?
The burden on New York City businesses, how a law about roll-down gates passed 17 years ago is coming back to haunt some owners.
Everybody that has regular gates has to change the gates in 2 months. Hello?
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich.
Just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town.
Dude, like, it's just, man, it's so gross. It's so entitled. Like, this whole, like, tax the rich specifically. It's so jealous. It's so entitled. Sorry, not jealous. It's so envious. It's so envious. It's so greedy. It's so entitled. It's so gross. Like, everything about it is so nasty. It's like other people have money. I deserve that money, actually. It's disgusting.
Hello?
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich.
Just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs.
Down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town.
Get the fuck out of here. All of you highly productive people, get the fuck out of here. But then, like, please actually stay and, like, give a shit, you know?
Get out of town.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous.
And by the way, you see a lot of crazy stuff happening because of this. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Charles Schwab or something, like one of the big companies from California just moved out. And guess who moved out of Seattle? Fucking Starbucks. Think about that for a second. They got the fuck out. Yeah. Like, man.
Social programs that we want to have in our state.
And like, where do you think this goes? It is a spiraling collapse, right? So they have created a system in which nobody wants to do business. Like, even people that have been previously loyal to the state, to the region, to the to the city, those people are now, they can't afford, the laws are so oppressive that they don't even want to be there anymore, despite all of their previous loyalty. And what does that do? So now they leave. Now there's less taxes to pay for their crazy social services. And do you think they're going to cut the crazy social services? Of course not. They're going to raise the taxes on everyone else. It is a huge spiral. And then more people are going to leave. More people are going to leave. More people. Where do you think the money comes from? Hi, mommy. Okay, my mom is like woman-splaining me right now. What happened? So they have a second headquarters in Tennessee. So they're not fully closing Seattle, but they're trying to move most of their operations to Tennessee. In-N-Out moved out of California to Tennessee. In-N-Out. That's crazy. In-N-Out's another like California institution. California is very proud of In-N-Out. Very, very proud of In-N-Out. They can't actually. The funny thing is isn't it like In-N-Out's basically never closed, but then they had to close one in Oakland? Isn't that what happened? Yeah. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but In-N-Out's basically never closed. They never go out of business because they're so good. Like everybody wants to eat at In-N-Out, right? But they had to close one in the last like year or so. They had to close one down in Oakland, and it's because in that parking lot, so much crime was occurring, and they were getting robbed all the time. It wasn't safe anymore. So they had to do that. In fact, I know people personally who are robbed at that In-N-Out. I personally know people that were robbed at that In-N-Out. So yeah, take that for what you will. Apple's also moving to Texas. Damn. Yeah, and again, like, where do you think this goes? Right, chat? Where do you think this goes? Now they have less money. They have less taxes. Less money for their social programs, which means that they're gonna have to get more monies from somewhere, and that's gonna lead to them taking money from other people. And for some reason, they never learned. They never learned that there's like a amount. I forgot the amount, but there is a specific amount that you can tax people before they say, not worth it anymore. California is cooked. Here we have corpos that have left: Tesla, Oracle, Packard, Chevron, Charles Schwab, Palantir, SpaceX, Playboy, and now In-N-Out. Yep. And it's gonna keep happening, right? As long as like the mentality is like let's overtax the rich. It's gonna they should just do a percentage tax. I don't understand. Just do like a flat tax, because the amount you tax them already goes up by percentage. Like if you just do like a flat percentage tax, it's fair to everybody. Though it's fair to everyone. It doesn't create like these weird tax bracket situations that you have, where you have people that don't want to get raises, people that don't want to get more money because it will push them into a tax bracket where they have to pay more taxes. It's just so complicated. Just do a flat tax, because the more money you make, the more you get taxed. It works even with rich people. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make percentage is fine already. Yeah, I don't know why I gotta make it so fucking complicated.
Bans retail
to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state.
Bans retail stores from refusing cash as form of payment. Businesses that violate the law will face a $1,000 penalty for a first violation and a $1,500 fine for each subsequent violation.
If all that wasn't bad enough, don't forget we got the congestion tolls, the driving taxes. Yeah, those are bad too. And the reason nobody running this place wants to help any of these businesses is because, like all communist regimes, the one we've elected sees them as the enemy. And it sees criminals as their victims. After all, if the prices at CVS weren't so high, nobody would steal from CVS, is what they tell us. Ditto the grocery store, where you'll find $10 milk and $10 ice cream. And since it's a crime to sell things for that much, it would be wrong to lock people up who steal that stuff, even if their ultimate goal is to sell what they steal illegally on a street corner somewhere. It's a practice which has now been decriminalized. And this is a problem.
Do you think they get taxed? Imagine how irritating that is, right? Imagine how irritating it is that you own a business, you get taxed out the ass, people steal from your business and then sell the stuff and they don't get taxed. It's fucking insane.
Nobody wants to bring up, because if we're gonna decriminalize stealing and we're gonna decriminalize selling stolen stuff, people are gonna take everything from these stores, because any thug in town can now open their own storefront tomorrow without paying rent, which is something legitimate businesses have to pay, giving them an unfair advantage, and without having to pay any money to get their inventory, which comes from the legitimate businesses who pay once when they buy it and then pay again when they have to sell what's left over to make up the difference.
This is actually so toxic. This is so ridiculously toxic that all of the law-abiding people are heavily penalized, just constantly getting fucked in the ass, and then criminals just do whatever they want. Just do whatever they want. Get welfare programs. They're such fucking leeches. It's actually insane. Like, not only do they steal the stuff and leech off of people, sell it back to benefit from them, get welfare on top of it. Like, it's freaking ridiculous. Like we're completely at the mercy of these people. This is actual tyranny. This is for real tyranny right here.
While watching criminals undercut them right on the sidewalk in front of where these products were stolen from in the first place. And the reason this is allowed is because private businesses and good paying jobs create people who do not need the government at all. And if you're a communist regime, you need people to need you if you want your system to keep getting voted for. So you better get rid of those businesses. And that's exactly what's happening, because as our businesses cry out for help from the local
I'm seriously telling you, if you live in one of these places, you need, guys, it's time. It's time to go. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can't be wasting your life unless you're like already really rich and you already have a ton of stuff. But like, you can't be living in these places. Like, if you don't have a reason there, like you don't have like a sick parent to take care of or something like that, you know, obviously there's reasons, you know, I'm not, this isn't a blanket statement, like use your brain, right? There's reasons that like you would stay in these places. Like if, you know, you're working in finance, you're making a ton of money from that. Okay, fair enough. But if you're an average person, there is like no reason to be here. There really isn't. Like you need to leave, right? And I understand it's scary. Like it was scary for me, right? Like I lived in California like my whole life, and I was scared to move. Or it's scary. It's like you're moving to like a new place, like things are completely different. It's really scary, but like you gotta do it. You gotta think of it this way, right? If you're gonna tell me that it's scary to move to another state, oh, it's like so scary that like, oh, I gotta move to another state. That's so scary. I don't know anyone there. How am I gonna get like you know, how am I gonna do anything? I'm not gonna know where anything is. I'm gonna be living in this like completely different place. Think about what our ancestors did. Think about what our American ancestors did. They were like, fuck it, we ball across the fucking ocean on a boat that takes weeks to go, and then we're just gonna go to butt fuck nowhere and there's nothing there, right? That's scary. That's super scary. Yeah, it's nothing compared to like the people that drove west either. Yeah, like the Oregon Trail, you know. So it's kind of, this is a thing that Americans have always done. And so like, while it might be scary, like, you know, you got this. It's in your blood. It's in your blood, or it's in your mimetic DNA, one or the other. You know, even if you're you're descendant from immigrants, you know. It's in your mimetic DNA. If you truly consider yourself American.
Government not only does none arrive, but what does arrive are new fees and new taxes and more enforcement actions. Those are all showing up instead, things that make it even harder to make an honest buck in this city while criminals are allowed to run the streets.
Oh yeah, that's right. Don't come to Texas and vote for leftist shit. If you do, I'm gonna rage. Don't come here though if you're a leftist. Don't come here. No commies. All right, guys, no commies.
With your inventory. And this is kind of frustrating to watch.
The summons from my signs, guys. My mini hero signs, I'm out here trying to make $1. They're not allowed to be on the sidewalk. They're sidewalk signs. Where am I supposed to put them? Sidewalk signs can't be on the sidewalk no more in New York.
So if you're a legal business owner, you put anything on the sidewalk, the police are gonna come. They're gonna give you a ticket. They're gonna write you up. But you know who's allowed to put whatever they want on the sidewalk? Yes, that's right. People selling things illegally on the sidewalk. They're allowed to hang out there all day in multiple areas.
By the way, in front of your establishment, making your establishment look scary and nasty. And they're allowed to do this in front of your business when you have to pay rent. It's actually insane. Like they're protecting bad actors at the expense of law-abiding citizens that are just doing their best. If that isn't tyranny, I don't know what is, honestly.
Town on multiple street corners, taking up literally the entire sidewalk. Now, if these individuals that you see standing here were all a bunch of sandwich boards that pointed to a legitimate business, the police would be there immediately and they would find that business. But that's not how things work in a lawless city. We're looking at selective enforcement here. Why? Because the people that are selling things and committing a crime, they can just run away.
Guys, we gotta have a new policy. We gotta have a new policy where if you're an immigrant here, you're not a citizen. You're an immigrant here, and you commit a crime, you just instantly get sent back. We need this bad. We need to do this. We need to do this, or we take you to jail. You serve your jail time, and then we send you back immediately. We need to do this like right away. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Why would we want this?
and now you can't give them a fine. And even if you give
That's what I mean. Like, why would we want this? Like, why as Americans, why would we want this? Who wants this? Nobody wants this.
fine, they're not going to pay it. But that business, that sandwich shop, oh, they're going to pay. They're not going anywhere. And
Yeah,
that's why they're getting hammered. The law-abiding are the only targets in this new system of not justice that we got going on here. And it's putting them out of business.
New York state law.
Like, honestly, I would go so far as to say that, like, if you just got your citizenship and you do one of these crimes, you should also get revoked and sent back. I maybe like 5 years or something, like a five-year period, where like if you just got your, you know, like a trial, you know, like you get your citizenship, it's like a trial citizenship, and then you commit like one of these one of these major crimes, you just lose your citizenship instantly. We need to do this. Like, this is ridiculous.
That went into effect on Saturday bans retail stores from refusing cash as a form of payment. Businesses that violate
Too short, 10 years, sure. I think, in my opinion, if you're going to immigrate to the United States, first off, I think we should just like kind of stop almost all immigration for now, just because it's a little much. Like, we need to handle it first. Like, it's clearly out of control. We need like a temporary stop on it right now, I think. You know, that aside, if you're going to immigrate here, you should be on your best behavior. You really should be. Like, what do you mean you want to be a citizen? And the first thing you're going to do is come here, not assimilate to the culture, and then commit crimes? Like, why would we put up with that? Why do we put up with it? I don't understand. It's like so matter of fact to me. Like, of course you would be like, okay, well, you came here, we gave you a chance, and it's just not working. Not working out for you. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't fit in. It's not a good fit. We should be able to break up our relationship with it. Guys, this is a toxic relationship, isn't it? This is like having a toxic boyfriend or girlfriend. We need to break up with them, I think, is what we need. We need to break up. That's what we need.
Law will face a $1,000 penalty for a first violation and a $1,500 fine for each subsequent violation.
Right, so if you got a business in a high crime area and there are no police around to help you and you want to refuse cash payments, you can't do that anymore. It's illegal, which means every criminal in town now knows that if they enter a business, there's going to be some money in that business because it's against the law for there not to be money in that business. And guess who's going to come and find out if there's money in your business? It's going to be the sandwich board police. They're going to show up. They're going to make sure you got to register. They will fine you too. But that makes these places sitting ducks for criminals who are looking for cash registers and want to steal stuff and run away. Why isn't that guy in jail? Why is he allowed to do that? Well, because again, selective enforcement. The business has to have the money there or they get in trouble. And then the criminal steals it and the business, it's the cost of doing business.
It's okay. The insurance will pay for it.
That's what these people are told. But
that's what these commies actually think. That's literally what they think. Oh, the insurance will just pay for it.
things get worse. Watch this.
5, a burden on New York City businesses. How a law about roll-down gates passed 17 years ago is coming back to haunt some owners.
Where do you think the insurance money comes from, you shit for brains? Where do you think it comes from? It comes from other people.
Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson.
17 years ago.
Enforcement will soon begin on an obscure law passed in 2009 requiring a majority of businesses to replace those roll-down gates.
This is so stupid. This law is so old. It's never been enforced. Why do we have this on the books? How is it helping our city to pass laws that don't take effect for almost 20 years? And the worst part about this is the cost to do the thing that the law requires is extremely high and is going to mean that some companies, they don't replace their gates. They just shut down.
Opened in 1992 and later expanded to house his insurance brokerage next door. That's also when he last replaced his metal roll-down gate.
Everybody that has regular gates has to change the gates in 2 months. Hello?
Starting July 1st, most gates like this will be out of compliance with city law.
5, 6 gates. It's got to cost me minimum 10 grand.
$10,000 to stay in business and avoid the sandwich board police. And you know something? The sandwich board police, it's going to be real easy for them to give out fines to these businesses because while the business is open, you can't see the gate
because they need money. They wanna find them. Don't stay in business then. I mean, it's a good point, but you know, a lot of these people, they've been here their whole lives. It's like I said, it's very scary, especially if you're older. If you're a lot older, I think it's a lot more understandable to like not want to move. You know, you're older and your entire like social life is like there. Like it sucks if you're older, but that's why I'm saying, like, if you're young, you gotta go now, man. You gotta go like as soon as fucking possible.
Rolled up But guess what? When the businesses are closed, they can just walk down the street and stick the fines on the door or dump them through the mail slot. That's what's gonna happen here. And you better believe in a bankrupt city that cannot afford its spending programs, enforcement is gonna be through the roof. They are gonna
Walla Walla says they will do all of this and then they have the nerve to blame capitalism when their system fails. They do it every time. Communism is always like, it's just excuses. It's just always excuses. Like, oh, like, you know, it just wasn't like the right way this time, but next time we'll do it right. It's like every single time, man. And it's like no matter what happens, it's always a new excuse. They just keep making more excuses all the time. Ace says, isn't Texas turning more Democrat every year? It's because people are moving here. It's because there's like these idiot people that they live in like these kind of leftist places. They move to Texas and then they vote for literally the same thing that caused them to leave. It's actually infuriating. And it's like, I totally understand. Like when I first moved here, I first moved to Texas. My neighbors were like, oh, where are you from? California. And they always said to me, just like this, well, y'all keep Texas, Texas. They always said that. And I mean, I totally get it. I feel the same way. You know, the reason I moved here is because it's different. That I don't want to live in California. I don't like their policies. And to be fair, I lived in a very red area in California. We voted for Trump, and we had we had MAGA parades and stuff in our city. It wasn't. I didn't live in a blue area in California at all. It was like kind of like a rebellion stronghold or whatever. We had Chad Bianco, the guy who's running for governor right now. He was from where I lived. He's running for governor of California on Republican. I voted for him, actually, Chad Bianco. But I voted for him like when he first got in. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I totally understand the sentiment of being afraid of people moving in. It's because they do vote for, they do come in and they vote for Democrats. Walla Wallace says, I'd go even further and ban all the first and second generation immigrants from voting. Voter-based manipulation tactics. Yeah, you can maybe do like a probation period. I think we need something like that. Like for sure, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will read all of the rest of the announcements. I mean, the notifications at the end. I just wanted to make sure I got in relevant questions and comments.
And hammer these businesses. At the same time, what other problem do these businesses face? They're in a high crime area. They need these gates to protect themselves. But that's not going to happen anymore. At the exact same time, who are they trying to sell stuff to? They're trying to sell $10 milk to people that are renting a $5,000 apartment. That is not a recipe for success. That's why businesses are shutting down and closing already. They can't afford to stay open. People can't afford to buy anything. And now the margins are going to get squeezed even tighter because we got some new laws that they have to comply with.
Talking about Local Law 75, passed in 2009, which requires most roll-down security gates to be at least 70% transparent.
Oh, great.
This would likely comply.
Randy Pierce, president of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, says it is an aesthetic and
likely comply.
Randy Pierce, president of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, says it was an aesthetic and anti-graffiti measure.
Yeah, you want to know what else is an anti-graffiti measure? How about charging the people that do graffiti a fuck ton? How about that? You're telling me you're gonna penalize again the law-abiding citizen over your inability to prevent graffiti? What the fuck?
Oh, so the reason they want the transparent gates is to get rid of the graffiti. How progressive. They don't like the way the city looks. There's too many lawless individuals out there spray painting all over businesses, and these roll down gates are a perfect target because they're a nice blank slate. And when it happens, nobody cares. The gate gets rolled up, the business opens, you don't see the spray paint, but oh, the city, it looks so terrible. And you know what? Instead of locking up these criminals, we just have so many of them, and they're victims of these businesses anyways. If these businesses weren't ripping people off, you know, these criminals would have better things to do than spray paint them. So instead of punishing the criminals, let's make the businesses the criminals.
Yep, exactly.
He wrote a letter to elected officials asking them to delay or repeal the law.
And this is on top of increasing expenses that has led to more business closures in 2025 than business startups for the first time.
God, this place freaking is such a hellhole. Like New York, holy shit. Like unreal. Like this is so bad.
Since COVID.
Yelena Macnin of the Brighton Beach Business Improvement District says the city hasn't done enough to inform owners.
Even before coming here, I asked 6 businesses, have you ever seen any fire?
Yeah.
No.
Estimating only 12 to 15% of businesses in the area are compliant.
Okay. That statistic right there That's why there's going to be rampant enforcement. This means when they send the sandwich board police out there to start writing tickets, they're going to be able to write tickets at least 85% of the time. This is the same thing as taxing the rich because you're taxing the business owner. You're going after everybody who's accomplished everything in this city, just trying to get as much money as you can from them to spend it on who knows what. And you know something? The goal of this regime that we're living under, and all of the regimes that grease the skids for Mayor Mamdani, it's not their goal to help your business. It's their goal to punish it. That's why they're not out there telling people that these fines are coming. They want to write the fines. They want to issue as many of these as they can before people fix their gates, if they're even able to. But remember the crime problems we've got here that are also shutting these places down? Well, it turns out that the gates we have now, the ones that you can't see through at all and might be great for graffiti, well, they do something their transparent replacements can't do.
To 15% of businesses in the area are compliant.
There are so many businesses closing their doors because constant competition with online shopping.
Eric Piker owns Eric's Health Food Shop, which has the proper gates, but worries about broken windows.
I'm afraid for my glass, actually, so I'm afraid that somebody's gonna just like poke into something into it and...
Okay, so the gate behind this gentleman right here, you can't shove an object through that and break the glass and possibly.
So it's like to protect, in order to set it up to discourage graffiti, because you can't control the graffiti problem, you are forcing people to have less good gates for their own protection, and then you're making the businesses pay for it. Dude, the government is fucking shit. This is why I keep saying I'm not a big fan of the government, because they're ridiculous. They can't fucking do anything right. Like, you give them like them preventing the graffiti, them preventing criminals from drawing graffiti on your shit. That's their entire job. All of this stuff is their entire job. And what they do is they always create these systems that offload their responsibility onto everybody else, all while patting themselves on the back. It's freaking ridiculous.
We shove an object through that and break the glass and possibly break into the store. But with a transparent gate where you can see right in, some of these gates, you can even get your hand in there. You could possibly jimmy the lock or do something else to harm the business, damage property. It's just a bad idea. This is a solution that doesn't need to exist because you know criminals are going to mess these places up. You know criminals are going to deface them. And trash and debris from the street also are going to flow through.
Yeah, do you think in a place where you have random people just punching people on the streets just because they can, you think that they're not going to think that they can just shove an object in there and break the window just for the hell of it? The antagonist, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome.
Deface them. And trash and debris from the street also are going to flow through these transparent gates. And that's just going to leave more of a mess for the business owners to clean up, which they'll then have to pay fines for if they don't. What a great system.
A spokesperson for the Department of Buildings says property owners had 17 years to replace the gates, but adds only City Council has the authority to change this law. If lawmakers propose an amendment, a spokesperson says we stand ready to implement any potential changes to the law that they approve.
Now, do we really think a bunch of progressives that hate businesses and hate people who might be earning more money than other people are going to come along and pass something like this? Do you really think that's going to happen? The way these governments work is they only want to have more laws. They don't repeal anything. They just stack on top of it. Nothing gets cut back. This doesn't happen. These are the same people that passed the law requiring businesses in high crime areas to accept cash no matter what, or they're going to get fined too. Meanwhile, it's the criminals who break all the laws and get off scot-free if you don't want to have a business.
Can we just examine this level of tyranny right here? Look at this freaking setup over here. Jeez.
Businesses in high crime areas to accept cash no matter what, or they're going to get fined too. Meanwhile, it's the criminals who break all the laws.
It's goddamn fort. I know.
Accept cash no matter what, or they're going to get fined too. Meanwhile, it's the criminals who break all the laws and get off scot-free. If you don't want to have a business and pay rent, no big deal. Sell stuff on the street, and your rent can be the occasional fine you get from the city if they're even able to apprehend you before you run away. Really, what every business owner is going to have to do is sell stuff on the street, because it doesn't make sense to have a storefront anymore. It costs too much money to keep it open. You got to pay all this rent. You got to pay all these expenses. You can get fined constantly. Meanwhile, there are some ridiculous ideas floating around out.
Guys, I just had a thought. This is the most difficult thought ever. There's no way anyone can put these two together. You guys ready? If you import people from countries where this is normal, it's gonna happen here. Whoa! Whoa! No fucking way! No one could have thought of that one, right? Damn. That one requires 150 IQ.
Out there constantly. Meanwhile, there are some ridiculous ideas floating around out there that might help businesses in the minds of people who don't understand how the economy here works.
They're all getting priced out. So what's Albany's thoughts or
real
potential solution
buster,
on this?
I know.
According to Gothamist and City and State New York, 2 state lawmakers just introduced the Small Business Rent Stabilization Act. Sounds great, I guess, on paper, right? They cap how much land.
They always give it like some stupid fucking name like that. It always sounds like really good. It's like they'll do like it's like these people will make a thing that's like Love and Care for Puppies Act, and it's like, yeah, let's like throw them off a cliff. Like,
landlords can raise rent on small businesses. They guarantee 10-year lease renewals
the puppies,
and protect the little guy. But we're forgetting that we're trying this on the residential side, and it's destroying small property owners because costs go up every single year.
Right. So there's a law on the table that might freeze rents, not just for apartments, but also for businesses.
I have an idea, guys. I have an idea. It's a really novel concept, guys. You guys ready? How about free market capitalism? Regulates itself, you know? Can we just do that? Let's just do that.
That immediately would give a reprieve to some little corner store that's getting hit with a rent increase. But why is there a rent increase? Well, we've got all these fees. We got all this crime. We got all these taxes. Utility costs are going up. If you freeze the rents for these businesses, eventually the owners, they're not going to be making any money from the apartments upstairs, because the rents on those are all frozen. And now the storefront, which was the cash cow, which was bringing in most of the rent for the building, now that's frozen too. They're just going to walk away. There's not going to be a building for you to have a store if this type of law goes through. And they wonder why people are leaving the city. They wonder why it's happening.
At population decline. 2025, we saw a small population decline after 2 years of major growth. Can you kind of give us a top level look at what are the major factors driving that, and what does that mean for the city?
Exactly. But the reality is we are in fierce competition for both residents and for businesses with other places that people can choose to be. And as you said, our population, after increasing, declined in 2025. Just 12,000 people, but it's a combination of 2 things. Federal policies that squashed international immigration, which is usually the generator of growth in New York City.
Wow. Okay. So this guy says that New York is in competition with other states, which means if you're here and the city can tax you and punish you, that forces people to leave. Then they also say that because the border is closed and because ICE is deporting people, there were less people that came to New York City. So the population didn't grow the way that it was growing when the border was wide open and when New York was getting bus after bus from the southern border, bringing people here, increasing the population. That is wild when you think about it. And that means that even though the population just shrank last year, it means New York's had a mass exodus going on for a long time, which in a way was covered up.
Can we break down a little bit the who? Who do we know is leaving? I think, interestingly, people left across income brackets, but can you kind of break that down a little greater for us?
What we saw is, on income brackets, fairly even distribution, working class, middle class, as well as wealthier New Yorkers, all leaving at the same rate.
Wow. So the middle class and the rich are leaving. It's not just the rich that are leaving. It's everybody who's working. Everybody that is trying to pay their own bills is on their way out. Meanwhile,
hold on. You're telling me that if you set up a place, overly taxes people that are law-abiding citizens and imposes a ton of rules on law-abiding citizens, the middle and upper class, and then you give away all this free shit and you don't enforce the law on them, you're telling me you're going to get more people that are bad actors and all the good people are going to leave? How could we have predicted that?
Population grew when New York City was offering free hotel rooms to people who were in the country without permission. And now that law and order has come back to America, we're going to hammer our businesses. We're going to continue on this path in New York of destroying the city's economy to do what? To get a short-term extra few dollars from fees for people not having the right gates, businesses not accepting cash because they get robbed all the time. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the city's going to be in for a lot of problems if it doesn't turn around, but I don't think the people running it see that as an option. I think they're just going to go further in the wrong direction. But what do you think? I'll see you in the next video.
Jeez. Oh my God. California is cooked too. Oh, guys, I think I need to do a communism song. I think that needs to be the next one. What do you think? What do you think, chat? I think we need a communism song. This is ridiculous. This is so bad.